Hi guys, it's me Karen, and I've come to do a little picture here. I started one last night and I thought maybe I should film it for you. I started it with pan pastels and a little bit of luminance pencils. It's out of the set of art by Mariola, you can read the name, Budek, and it's this picture here. This is done with the pan pastels as a base coat and then luminance pencils on top. And when I did it, I thought, oh, I should have filmed it, but it was late last night when I was doing it. So filming at night is not my best idea. What I did was I went to her Etsy shop and I purchased the same picture. This is one I did not have purchased already, so I got it in, when you buy the file, you get it in dark, light, sepia. So I printed it in all of those so you can see the difference. Okay, so this is the dark here, and I'll show you the light is right underneath it. So you have a lighter version of it that you can print out. It saves on ink, number one, but you also have the option of not as heavy dark lines showing when you're coloring it. Okay, so we have that. We also have it in the sepia, which is a brown tone, which is really nice. I think it shows up better with the dark black one, the light one. And when you're coloring in this with skin tones, it works really nice if you're worried about the black showing through. This blends a little bit better with skin tones. I also printed it on brown. This is the sepia ink on brown paper, so it blends a little nicer on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to color them all, just the skin, with the pan pastels and a little bit of the pencils, just so you can see the difference between what they all look like. This might be a video that you're interested in, and it might not. So I will not feel bad if you guys don't want to see it, but I'm going to do it just in case. So we're going to start off with the pan pastel set that I have, and I believe this is the skin set. And I have to turn it upside down to read what they say. So this is burnt sienna tint. So this one and this one and this one are the ones that I'm going to use as a base coat. So this one here is, oops, sorry, a colorless blender, and the other one is red iron oxide tint. So this is red iron oxide tint, and this is colorless blender. I do dip into this one for both of these. Maybe all of them, I don't know, for the shading around the face. So we will try to get their names. Burnt Sienna Shade, Burnt Sienna Extra Dark, and plain old Burnt Sienna over here. This one here is called Yellow Ochre Tint. I did not use that one. So I have these little things. I don't have a big sponge. If I do, I have no idea where it is on my desk, so I just use this. This is a medium kind of spongy thing, and the little tool that looks like this, and it's kind of seeing its better days here. But we're going to take a little of that lighter color. We put it on here, and then we're going to throw a little of that colorless blender in just to mix it up so I don't have a white line on here. I'll bring the camera down a bit. There we go. And we're just going to lay this down on her. Now I want to leave the center of her forehead kind of empty, down her nose empty, down her lip, and around her chin, and the highlights of her cheek. There's two ways of doing that. You could either just not put anything there, or you can use the colorless blender, blend it in, or you can use an eraser and erase it out. Okay, so we're just going to put it in. It doesn't matter if you go over her lips or not, because they need a little skin tone in them too. So we add it in everywhere there's a shadow. And the pan pastels are forgiving enough where you can go back over them with pencil and erase anything you don't like before you set it. They all will have to be set. Okay, if you take just a little bit of the colorless blender, which looks a little white, and you just go in these areas, you can blend the color that you put down, which is neat. I like that. Okay, we're going to go into a darker color over here. I wonder how far over I can move this so you can see the colors. I'm going to take a little of this one here, and we're going to turn this over and dab it on here with a little bit of the blender. And whatever else is left on my little tool here, just put a little of that darkness over here where her hair is, around her eye, on both sides, cheek areas, chin, and then we're going to go down her neck here too. She's got a couple of shoulders peeking out, and I don't know if you can see that part. So we're just going to throw a little color on those too. Okay, this is a very, very pretty picture. Bring in some of that colorless blender, and we're just going to blend it right in there. Gives it a very soft look. And like I said, if you get any marks that are too dark for you, you can get an eraser. It doesn't, I mean, preferably you want one of those that you can squish and wiggle and do whatever with, but I don't have one of those, so I just bring in an eraser that I have on my desk and just erase a little bit of that color that I don't like. And then we get our little makeup brush that I have somewhere on my desk and wipe away any of the eraser fluff. Okay. This is the pinker tone on the side over here. We're just going to put a little of that in. And we're going to blend it in. With the colorless blender. Okay. I'm just dabbing this around just to get a better blend in here. gonna rub the pastel in a little bit more. I didn't get that erased very well. Okay. We're going to do this on all of them, so the rest of this is done with a little bit of the darkest color we've got here. And we'll just go around in the darkest spots. We'll do the rest in pencil. Okay, I can play with this for a long time. So when you do take this down to do the fixative part, I use a workable fixative. You want to go around with your eraser, get it out of the areas that you don't want it in, like the hair, the flowers, whatever you touched with it that you don't want it in. You can take a little out of the eye area here for the eyelashes, just so it will be easier to color those in a little later. She's looking pretty good as is. Okay, we're going to work on the light one and see how the pastels work on that one. Same colors, the light with the colorless blender, and we're going to do the same thing, work on the same areas. There's not going to be as much shadowing on this one, so you kind of have to put your own shadows in. On the other paper, there's a little thicker line here, a lot of line coming down here, a little heavier coming in on the cheeks. So if you are not liking it to be so dark on those areas, this might be a better option for you. Just using that colorless blender to blend everything there. Come in here under her chin. And on her shoulders. Go in with the darker colors. Do want to take it up her part too. Sorry about that. I forgot on the other page. A little of the darkest right in here. Okay, then we will blend that all in. That came out a little dark, but like I said, you can erase anything you don't like. Oops. Especially if you get it in the hair. Doing this a little quicker than I probably should be. Okay. Wipe off some of that. Take it out of her hair here. Around her eyes, eyelashes, I should say. Okay. More blending here. Oops, that was really dark. And there we go on her. And then the brown one. I don't know if the pastels will work on the brown paper, but we're going to try on the sepia page here. See how that blends almost right into the brown. have to erase a little of that. Down her neck. Add a little bit of darker up here. Okay, around the eye with the eraser. I mean, they're all looking kind of pretty, but that's kind of to be expected. The picture is pretty. So one thing I forgot to do was put the pink in the cheeks of the other pages. Okay, that's good enough. Now what I have to do is see if it'll work on the tan paper. I mean, we're here experimenting, right? So we'll use the same colors again. Maybe this time I'll even get better at it, huh? Ooh, that's going to be bright, light color, isn't it? So it kind of looks like we're going to have to go a bit darker here. Well, we'll put the light in the middle of her forehead because that's where we want it lightest anyway. Under her eyebrows, around her eyes, down her nose, up on her lip here, under her nose, under her lip, and Guess we're working in reverse here. Okay, this will be interesting. All right, we're going with a darker color. Here we go. So this is the, what is this? Got to pick it up to read it. Burnt Sienna Shade that I'm using as our base skin color. It's the darker, the third darkest one I put in, the second darkest on the other pages. But obviously this one is a little different because it is brown paper. Oh, this is interesting. I've never worked on this kind of paper before. So, challenging, but fun. Okay, brush all that dust off. And the darkest color. The pan pastel set I have, I believe, is a skin color set that comes like this. I could be mistaken. Just gonna blend that around. And we're gonna put a little pink in. Oh, the pink. Maybe we'll not put pink in here. Yeah. Interesting, interesting, interesting. We'll put back in the brown tone there. Wow. I just put a little of that darker on this little sponge. I'm just going to blend it around a little. Okay. All right. There we go. And wherever our eraser is, around her eyes, eyelashes area. There we go. Interesting, interesting. All right, now I'm gonna have to pause this while I go down and spray all these people, and I'll be back. Okay, we are back, and I have put the spray fixative on them. And like I said, it's a workable fixative. I found it on Amazon, so I'll put a link down below if you're curious what it is. So we are all dry-ish. So I'm going to start off with this one again, and we'll try to work the same way we did. This is what they all look like after we've put pastels on them. I really like this one. I like how the brown comes out. So we're going to paint. Wouldn't that be interesting? I'm going to paint over pastels. What's the point? I'm going to color over them. I have a selection of luminance pencils out, and what I did on the other one was just kind of, well, she needs a little bit of dark, so I just went in and picked a darker one out, and that's kind of how I went. So this is, what is a Sienna, burnt sienna 50%. So we're just going to very lightly, I'm going to hold the pencil way back here and add in some color here. The darkest areas, just really lightly. And we're going to do this in a lot of layers, so each one of them is going to be done the same way. So I'll put a nice soft little layer of this down on this page. Then I'll go to the next page. This video is going to be really long. I'm sorry about that. I just thought it would be fun for you guys to see kind of the difference between the pages. Now they're not going to be perfect, but I never claimed to be. I just have fun. And boy, did we have fun on that brown paper. I've never colored on it before, so that was my first time. I'm going to throw a little of this on her lips too. I didn't put any of the pastel up here, so I have to put a little skin tone in there somewhere. Okay, so that's a very light layer. We're going to go to the next picture here. Same thing. And the one difference on this is you could use these lines as reference, but you're going to have to draw some on your own. You can either do that with a black pencil or a pen of your choice. You can still go over this with pastels if you want to. Say if I get a lot of pencil lines or such, we can go over it with the pastels and smooth them out a little bit. I'm trying to be really light, but you might see some pencil lines on this anyway. And just use the lightest color that you have in the palette and just kind of blend over it. We do have a few layers to go on, so next one. Like I said, I'm leaving the shoulders and stuff for later. Like I said, I'm just playing around. Thought I'd take you on a ride with me. I've never colored so many of the same face at one time either. Mass production. And you notice here I've got a lot of little pencil marks. If you can't tell, I can. Now I know I can layer and layer and layer and get rid of those, but I'll show you what I was talking about. When you take the pan pastels, you can go over them. Ooh, I put them away, so I'm just going to take this light color with a little of the colorless blender. Make sure I don't have any dark on that. And we're just going to go in here a little bit. And it just takes out those pencil marks really nicely. So you can do that, or you can just mess with the pencil and keep working at it, and you'll get the right color blend too. Okay. Now I have no idea about this one. But we're going to try with the same color that we used on the other pages. I forgot to put it up here in the hairline too, so... Okay. Next color I would use, normally, this one is a little different, would be, let's see, she's darker, so I'm going to bring in the Cassel Earth, Cassel Earth. It's 46. It's a darker, the darkest color I usually use. It's not going to look terribly dark on this page though. Still using very light pressure, holding the pencil back as far as I can. Okay. So, a lot of work on that one. Bring in this one, same pencil. The, what is it, Cassel Earth. Now I've made a little indentation here and I want to use that instead of the sharp point. Just go in the same way I did. Just very lightly. Hold the pencil back further. So how are you all doing? Hope you're all well. My husband took my daughter out to a play last night. That's why I was coloring. We have a Fifth Avenue theater down here. Oh, well, it's downtown Seattle. It's a ways away, but I mean, so they went to see Bliss. My daughter loved it. Make that a little darker there. It was a storyline of 3 sisters who were all princesses that were being kept in a tower by their father. He was just a little overwhelmed. I believe his wife had passed away and he was left with the 4 daughters, and for a weekend he thought that he could put them up in a little tower for a little bit, so they'd be out of his hair basically, and then just kept at it. They were very smart girls. He homeschooled them in a whole bunch of different genres, and each one of them had a distinct personality. Which is really cool. So yeah, she told me all about it when they got home. It was a really good play. Oops, got that a little dark. 2 ideas on that. If you get it too dark, you can either use the pastel or you can go in with the favorite pencil, buff titanium, and kind of buff it out a little bit. It'll still be a little dark, but you can blend it in enough where you can put another color on top of it. And I want a lighter color, so I'm going back to the original burnt sienna here and just putting it down. On top. And hope I didn't screw up the whole page, but if I did, I have an eraser. Bring in a little Prisma white. I don't know. Let's see. Where is my eraser? Got it a little funky there. So if you're going to erase this, the thing is, you have to kind of erase it all the way back down to your first layer. Okay. So we just start the layer processing over again. Going to bring in a little, I shouldn't because I have to do them all the same, but I'm going to put a little, boy, this is pink. Anthr, or Aquinoid. They will be listed in the description box below if you would like to see what colors I am using. This will be the pink with the funny name. So we're just going to add a little in there. Because she is all brown, we want to throw a little pink in on her skin too. And her lines are all brown. Okay. The next one is the light one. So we're going in with the Cassel Earth on her. Kind of going on the line and then lightly bringing it up. I'm trying to remember to go over all the same areas. These are all printed on the same type of paper, so it's just cardstock 110, kind of smooth. It's the cheapest stuff I can buy at my store. I used to be able to get Georgia Pacific, but I can't find that anymore, so this was just kind cardstock that I usually make my cards with. If you're wondering about the tooth of the paper, it's pretty smooth. Okay, we'll add a little pink in her cheeks too because I added it in the other one. I'll have to add it in all of them. Okay. All right, and then in the dark colored one, Cassel. Okay, and throw the pink in her. Okay, is that everybody? Did everybody get pink minus this one? Let's see if we can get a little pink in there without making her look too silly. Okay. Let's see. Next color I'm going to bring in is it's Crimson Aubergine. That's for her lips. So we're just going to start on this one. I'm going to darken the skin here. Bring a little of this up, kind of in lines. Just to give some color to her lips. can put a little up here too, just under her eye. Bring in some of that color. Just a little. Same here. Okay, next one. Usually I'd leave those white, but I have to add white into that one. I'll add white on her eyes here too, so add a little more detail to her. Because unfortunately, you can't tell her details. Now that helps her out a bit. Okay, and last one. Okay, spots all over the place. We have to go back in with the lightest color again and do the whole kit and caboodle over. Going to use the burnt ochre 10% here and just kind of go over everything. Sorry, I have to turn the paper around, but kind of want them to look okay for you. Okay, then we will bring in, and make sure I use the right one here. White is what I'm going to go in here with, and just kind of make sure these are lighter areas here. Okay, and the light color, I'm just going to take it up her nose here a little bit, just to give her a little bit of a nose, going across, and her little lip area down here, that a little darker. Just a little more pressure on that, and then blend it up and down. And just take your time blending it all together. But basically, that will be what she looks like with, let's get some black here. This is a Prismacolor black. I'm going to do it on all of them. This is just to go over their eye area. And then we're going to bring in some extra eyelashes, coming from that line and pulling them up. And pulling some down. And then darkening the pupil of the eye here. You can make her eyelashes as big or small as you like. Same thing on the other eye. I'm going to just play around with it. Darken up her noses up here and there. If you want to get rid of that line, you can either go over it with a white pencil, highlight any areas that you want highlighted. Because we have pastel under here, it's a little easier to do. But in some areas, you're not going to get it, so you want to use a Posca pen to put highlights on her. Okay, that one's that one. I'll show them all at the end. I believe I did all of them, so we're going to do their eyes here. That's what we're doing. So, because this is black or dark paper, you're not going to get a white highlight in here. You're going to have to add that. Oops. Oh, she's going to have wicked eyelashes here. In this one, you're going to have to shade the white part of the eye. Well, it's a little long, so I'll have a few more long ones in there. Yeah, well, I never said I was good at all this. We're going to add a little more white there. See what other highlights we can give her without changing it too much. I mean, obviously we're going to have to work on her a little more because she's brown paper to begin with. Trying to do this very lightly. That got really dark. I don't know. I don't think I like that. Yeah, we'll work on her. Anyway, next one. Eyelashes and everything on this one. I could just show you what these look like when we're done. That way I can take a little more time with them. Oh, I have to put white dots in her eyes. I wonder if this one will work. Sorry if my head's in the way. That's how those go. Then go back around it. The black. She'll have brown eyes because I'm not going to do much more to her. She's really not that bad looking. This one has kind of white. So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and I'll do this one so you can see. The other one looks so all right. But this one's got a little bit more work, and I'm going to have to sharpen the pencil. Okay, because we're a light gray scale here, and we're going to make this darker. Okay, so you can see the difference between the eyes when you do that. And we will have to add a little shading in here too. And if we're going to do brown eyes on everybody, I should probably do that too. We'll show you what it looks like in the end. So I'll do it on all of them. The eyes, I made her eyes blue, but that doesn't really matter. So anyway, that is how I went about doing this, and now you can see what they would look like in the light scale, which is darker or lighter than her book. This is the Sepia, which is the brown. Of course, the brown tone, which is nothing like this one. And then I believe this one's the closest, except for this has a little bit more of a let's say purple hue to it almost. So this is black, but that could just be my printer that prints in straight black and not a mixed color. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I kind of got a feel for the different ways you can use. Just don't look at this too much. You can find other people who could color better on brown paper. Use the different files that you get and have different ways that your pictures will turn out. I had a lot of fun. So I'll finish these guys up and show you pictures of them, just their faces. I'm not going to do anything else, but just their faces, and I'll post them at the end of the video. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and ringing the little bell for notifications on all my videos. I really appreciate your support. Without you, I would not be, I don't know, having fun coloring. Hope you all have a great day. Bye now. Take care.